A perfect way to kick off the 8 o'clock hour here at Ocean 100. Jimmy Buffett and Margaritaville. And good morning. We have been waiting for this moment for what seems like months now. And as a little background, my friend Lennie Gallant and I had a chat back in the summer about the possibility of Jimmy Buffett coming to Prince Edward Island to Ocean 100 to appear on the show in the morning and debut some tunes. Now, unfortunately, Jimmy passed away not too long ago, but we're still able to do this, which is just fantastic. I want to introduce everybody to my friend, Prince Edward Island recording legend. He's in the Order of Canada, ECMA Award winner, Juno nominated. This man is world traveled, and we are so proud to call him our own Mr. Lennie Gallant. Welcome, sir. It's so good to have you.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Amazing. And of course, we are going to chat about your time with Jimmy, putting this album together, a couple tunes. One of them very, very influenced by Prince Edward Island, Portugal or PEI,
You could say that.
which we are going to debut here very soon. But first and foremost, how have you been?
I've been great.
What a ride, eh?
It's been quite a ride, and it's been a crazy year actually. We've been super busy all year long with various projects and touring and recording, and so yeah, I feel good.
Now I know many people know Lennie Gallant, and I'm excited that you're here to share the music and stories as well. But maybe you would just give a little background for listeners, where you're from, kind of how long you've been a singer-songwriter, and some of the folks that you've had the opportunity to work with over the course of your career.
Well, I'm from Rustico,
Yes.
and I've been I started writing songs I think when I was around 13 or thereabouts, but I've got something like, I don't know, I think, what is it, 14 albums I think at this point.
Yes.
Most are in English, a few French ones as well, and we just released one French one. I've worked with quite a different number of people, and I've been fortunate enough to work with and share the stage with a few well-known artists along the way. Just through song circles and things like that. But people like Lucinda Williams, Fanny Griffin. I got to play with David Foster and his band. That was a lot of fun. Those guys were amazing. Once the songs were with Roger Hodgson from Supertramp,
Cool.
But then on the more local level, I really think the East Coast music, people who are involved in East Coast music are world class all around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been so much fun to just hang out and play with local people. Everyone from Ron Hines to who's got her life, to Alicia Guzman. So it's a real great community here, the way people interact with each other. And I think it's got, most people from across the country really envy the East Coast for the music that's here, and the way people share it and support it. It's awesome.
So Jimmy Buffett is also on that list too, obviously. And you guys, now this didn't just all happen this year. Take me back to initially how you and Jimmy came into each other's lives.
Well, Jimmy recorded a song of mine from my album Windwell. He had heard it. Apparently, there's two stories that kind of blend here, because there's a Prince Edward Islander by the name of Joanne McKenzie who was a cook on various boats around the world, and she was a cook on Buffett's boat. I was playing my music down in the galley one day, and he came down and said, "Who is that?" And became very interested in my music. Then he was on a TV show in Canada, Pamela Wallen show, and the producer was a friend of mine, Mary, and I'd given her some albums that if anybody ever passes through, I said, Pamela Wallen show, because Art Garfunkel had been there not long before. And so apparently she gave him an album as well. So those two stories kind of blend, and somewhere in there he became very interested in my music.
And this is Mademoiselle right here in the background.
Yeah, and he recorded. I got a call from his company, recorded that song, and then we started chatting, back and forth, and became friends, and hooked up in Toronto. Met up in Toronto, and I got to play with him on stage there, sitting on a surfboard. Him and I and Mac,
Cool.
singing that song, and that was pretty cool.
And as Darcy had mentioned, you have so many accolades. You've accomplished so much, including being inducted into the Order of Canada. Madden performed in front of so many people. What was it like to be on the receiving end of that initial call from Jimmy Buffett saying that he wanted to write songs with you?
Well, there is an interesting story about that call, because the first time Jimmy recorded my stuff, and we hung out back around the time we recorded Mademoiselle. That was quite a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's almost hitting on 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And we hung out a fair amount then in Toronto, and then he came to Nova Scotia to do some surfing, and we got together there and had a lot of fun. I picked up some lobsters, and we had a jam session, and I met him again in Nashville. But over time, he has a busy career, and I was busy, and we kind of, didn't communicate much, and then I hadn't heard from him for a long time. And then a year ago, I was up in Montcarmel in PEI, and it was not a very good telephone line, and someone was outside cutting grass or something, and the phone rang, and it was this very odd area code, and normally I wouldn't answer, but it was such an odd area code that I answered, and I said hello, and this voice came on and says, "Hey Lenny, how's it going?" And I thought he said, "Is Jimmy Doucette?" And my mind is going, Jimmy Doucette, my mind is a Rolodex flying. I'm thinking, who the heck is Jimmy Doucette? And he says, "Yeah, listen, I've been thinking, I think we should write a song together. And so are you up for it?" And I'm like, well, first off, I get a lot of requests, and he's too busy. And I'm trying to be polite, but I'm trying to listen. Well, I'm kind of busy, I'm saying, and yeah, I think we should write this song. It's called Portugal or PEI. And I'm thinking, Portugal or PEI? What a strange title for a song. And why would I want to write a song called Portugal or PEI with somebody named Jimmy Doucette that I never met before? And I'm telling him, well, I'm kind of busy right now, and I got a tour in Alberta. Yeah, I looked at your website, I can see that. And he just keeps on trucking as though I hadn't, been putting it down. And so it went on for a while like this, and I'm thinking, Jimmy Doucette. And then he said something. He said, "Yeah, well, listen, we'll talk later, and I'm gonna get my seaplane." And I said, "Seaplane? Oh my God, I'm talking to Jimmy Buffett." And but then he was gone, and I said, "I think I just blew off Jimmy Buffett, And so I'm thinking, so I texted him, but I never heard back, which is not uncommon because he's busy. I never heard back for like 3 months, and 3 months later, I get another text, and it's Jimmy texting Paul Brady in Ireland, who's an awesome songwriter, wrote songs with Lonnie Rayner. He's texting Paul Brady, and he says, "Hey Paul, Lennie Gallant and I are writing a song called PEI to Portugal. You want to get in on it?" Like, yes, okay. It's still happening, okay.
Incredible. And we will play that tune coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll have more with Lennie Gallant as